Cool. Hi, welcome to the video. In this video, I am going to be comparing if there are any differences between Samyang models of the same lens. So, due to a pretty bizarre Amazon returns policy, it has meant that I've ended up with two of the same lens, which is the Samyang 20mm 1.8 for E-mount for Sony. And well, I have read a few times online that there are irregularities between Samyangs, so they don't all perform as well as each other. Now, I've been shooting on the 14mm for probably like 2 years now, and I've always been a massive advocate of that lens. I think it's a cracking lens for astrophotography. But I do know other people who have the lens, and it doesn't appear to perform as well as mine does, so I must have just been lucky in getting a good copy of the lens. So basically, had the 14mm for a couple of years. I've been keeping my eye on the 20mm for almost the same amount of time because I like the idea of that extra stop of light, because this is a 1.8 and my 14mm is a 2.8. So I've been looking at it online for easy a year, and I've been following the price of it as well along, and then I recently decided, right, I'm going to buy it. So I buy it, and then a week later the price dropped on Amazon by £70. So I contacted Amazon and said, look, I've paid £350 for this lens. It's now dropped down to like £280, something like that. Can you refund me the difference? And they said no. They said I would have to return one and buy another one. So that's what I've done. I've started the return on one of them, and I've bought the other one, and I've saved myself like 70 quid from doing it, but it's a bit of a ball ache that I've got to actually send it back. But anyway, that means I've got two identical copies of the same lens, and I am going to check between them which one is the better performing lens, and then obviously send back the one that isn't as good. So I'm not going to do any like massively scientific testing or anything like that. I've already checked the minimum focus distance, and they're both exactly the same. The only thing you can really notice straight out the box is that the focus throw on one of them is a lot stiffer than on the other one. So one of them is a lot smoother, I would say. But yeah, apart from that, physically you can't tell the difference between the two of them. So what I'm thinking, all I'm actually going to do is, all I really care about is how these perform for astrophotography. So I'm just waiting for it to go dark now, and I'm just going to take 3 shots of exactly the same thing with each of these lenses, with them stopped to f1.8, then f2, then f2.5 I think it is, and then 2.8. So that'll be 4 shots each actually is what I'll do. And then all I'm going to do is just like check the corners of the images basically and see if there is any difference between the two of them. So I'm waiting for it to get dark, I'll get outside and we'll shoot, and we shall see. Right, this is going to be a shit video, but it still sort of shows the point I'm trying to make in the video. So I was tempted just to sack all this footage off, but I'm gonna still make the video. Right, so after it being clear skies all day and forecast clear skies for the night, when I finally went out when it was dark just outside the front of the house, it was completely cloud covered. You could just see a couple of stars poking through, actually saying that. And so I then waited until midnight, going outside every sort of 10 minutes to check on whether the cloud had moved along. In the end, got pissed off, thought I'm not doing this, I'm just going to go to bed. But then as I was about to get into bed, I thought, well, either way I still need to test these two lenses because I need to send one of them back tomorrow, i.e. today. So I just thought, bollocks, I'm going to go and take the shots anyway. So I just stuck the camera out in the front and I set both the lenses to their infinity mark, and then took the 4 shots that I said I was going to take. First one at f1.8 all the way up to 2.8 I think it was, yeah. And I will go into the screen recording now and we'll show you the photos that I took. So what is going to make this shit, and what is also going to make this a really quick video, is that I marked one of the lenses just with a piece of tape, and then I knew the difference between them. And what's going to make this a really short video is that you can see there the one on the left that took the shot is actually in focus when it's set to infinity, and the one on the right that's here is not actually in focus at infinity. So that really puts the rest of the testing off the cards anyway, because you know, I can't check any of the corners or anything like that because one of them isn't in focus really. So I mean, I can go through and check anyway. Interestingly, that I noticed that down in the corners, actually, even though one of them isn't in focus, is actually looks better in the corner than this one does at 1.8. But I'm quite happy with the detail actually at f1.8. And yeah, again, corner here looks about the same, to be honest. The only bit of stars that you can actually see, you can see the one over here, because it's in focus, the star is a little pinpoint, whereas because the other one isn't actually focused at infinity, the stars are larger. Apart from that, we can't really do a whole deal. Like, you can go to the corners, looks a little bit darker, but you know, I was hoping to be able to have stars that I could take a look at the corners on. But yeah, here there's nothing really hanging about. There's a couple stars just dotted about here, but in the time between, you can't see them anymore, so really frustrating. But yeah, what was obvious for me there is that one of these lenses is actually, when it says it's at infinity, it's actually at infinity, and the other one isn't. So just based on that alone, I'll be keeping the first one, I'll be sending the second one back. But why not? Shall we just have a look through? So this is at f2, and again, obviously this one's out of focus. Detail gets a little bit better here. This one is what I believe is at 2.5. And again, this one starts to sort of come into focus now, but this one, the detail is getting a lot better. And the corners look still looking really soft, to be fair, down in that corner. And actually this one that's not in focus, looking better in that corner as well, but I guess that's because it's focused slightly closer. But overall, detail wise, looks all right. See a star there, can't see it over here. And then yeah, so this last one is at f2.8, and at this point, like, yeah, this one's coming into focus now, but I'm quite happy with the detail that's in these. And there you can see the stars here as well. These are coming slightly smaller now that we're stopping the aperture down a little bit, but these ones here, like little pinpoints, so you can tell that the lens obviously gets better. The stars here look very similar as well. The lens gets a lot better obviously at f2.8, but I'm going to go back to my 1.8s, and actually I'm pretty happy with how this looks at f1.8 compared to the 2.8. It's not that bad. It's obviously softer, but yeah. So that was my test. That was over really quickly, and it all just based on the fact that one of these lenses is, when they're both set to infinity, one of them is actually at infinity and the other one isn't. So that does answer the question, which was the point of this video, was to say, are there irregularities in the Samyang lenses? Are they all built slightly different? The answer to that is most probably yes, especially with these two copies of the same lens that I've got clearly there. I needed to send it back, otherwise I would have tested to actually set the second one at infinity, and then, I mean, the ideal would have been if I'd have actually seen some stars in the sky and I'd have been able to use it, but never mind, is what it is. I got what I needed out of it in terms of I knew which one I was keeping and then which one to send back, and then I decided not to scrap the footage because it does show that actually there are differences between the Samyangs. You can order the same model of lens and get a slightly different performance on the lens, which is disappointing, but I guess it is what it is, and you get for the money, it is what it is. I ended up paying like $270, I think, for that, and actually I'm sure for the price it's going to be really good, and I can't wait to actually use it for some Milky Way photography, hopefully very soon when the weather sorts itself out. Right, stop waffling, that's the end of the video. I hope it was useful in some way, and I'll hopefully be out and get a vlog together as soon as possibly can. And this may hopefully be my new go-to lens, so I'll do a review of it at some point. Right, thank you very much for watching, hope to see you again soon. Take care.